There is a consensus that higher education is the best guarantor of a promising career. But with costs of higher education soaring, finding funds for your own in case you're a young professional looking to add another degree to your resume from a top-notch university or your child's higher education could not be possible without strategic investment and planning. Hello and welcome. Today on the show, we will explore the various ways through which you can fund your child's or your own higher education. First up, let's meet Mr. and Mrs. Sharma, parents of two daughters aged 17 and 13, and find out how they intend to fund their daughter's higher education.
Sanya, a 16-year-old class 12 student, is just months away from joining college. Deft at playing various musical instruments, she has a special inclination towards writing and wants to eventually make a career out of it.
I'm studying humanities with maths. I'm in class 12 right now. I've just gotten into class 12. It's just been a few months. I like music, so I play the guitar and I play the drums and things. I read a lot. I'm kind of a bookworm, but mostly I prefer to write. So not fiction, but just anything that I can basically think of.
Sanya's 13-year-old sister Ananya shares her sister's passion for music. In fact, she's a step ahead. Ananya has already formed a music band with her school friends, but is perhaps a little too young to plan her studies and decide on her career options.
I like music. I play the xylophone sometimes, thoda thoda, and I sing and I play the keyboard a little. And I like painting. I like painting on the canvas.
Their parents, Ricky and Shalini Sharma, are both entrepreneurs. Like all parents, they want to provide their daughters with the best education. However, with Sanya almost on the verge of joining college, the Sharmas regret missing out on financial planning. Especially at a time when inflation is at an all-time high and cost of higher education has been rising at a steep 10 to 12% year on year.
Frankly speaking, no, and what we have not done so far, and that's what it is hitting us now. And the thought of spending so much of money after once she enters the college, whether it is the normal university or she is going out, or maybe some private colleges and good universities outside Delhi and all.
When we actually come to the stage and you're thinking higher education and suddenly you realize that the costs are really too much and you realize that you haven't really planned for it well in advance, then yes, it does make you a little anxious.
The situation isn't very different from that of other parents. Considering that while earlier generations had it easy as the fee in government institutions was modest, the Sharmas agree that parents should start planning their child's education as early as possible.
Idea is, yes, definitely we have not done it as our parents have not done it. So plan.
I think it's the moment a child is born, I think you should start thinking about it from that stage itself. I think we're already late because we were kind of happy-go-lucky. We really didn't think that education is going to cost that much because it didn't cost that much when we were studying. So I think, we should start as early as possible and not wait till the nth hour to actually start thinking about it. I think the sooner you plan, the better you can kind of plan it and provide for it.
With Sanya just a year away from getting into a college and with less than 5 years for Ananya to step into college, what can the Sharmas piggy bank on as far as financial planning for their daughters is concerned? Here's over to Amit Kukreja, a Delhi-based FPSB or Financial Planning Standards Board India certified financial planner, for some advice.
While Indian parents are known to go to any extent to fund their child's education, in many cases it's seen, if statistics are an indication, that often they fail to have a proper financial plan in place for it. I, along with Mr. and Mrs. Sharma, are now joined by Mr. Amit Kukreja, a certified financial planner, FPSB India. So, Mr. and Mrs. Sharma, let's perhaps we should start by talking about Sanya, I guess, and then we will talk about Ananya. Ananya being the younger one. She's 17, and in a year's time, she has to go to college. And while she is going to a college in India, of course, the kind of money which we're talking about here is, of course, in lakhs. I guess roughly 6 to 8 lakhs. Will that be safe to assume? 6 to 8 lakhs. And not much time before they have to come up with that kind of money. And in this context, it's very important to also realize that it's very important to have a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So given that her higher education is just a year away from today, did you earmark anything for her education fund? And did you create any asset that you thought 3-4 years ago that will be something that will help her get the education funds ready?
See, frankly speaking, apart from some FDs or the mutual funds, being in real estate business for long, so I've earmarked something for her. It's an apartment of, it's about roughly value, today's value, we can say about 50 lakhs, which I thought at that time like it'll be good enough for her higher studies. I think that is the thing I have done so far, and this is the conscious decision we have taken at that time, both of us. So now you can suggest if it'll be good enough for her to take up the further studies.
Of course, real estate assets do have a certain amount of money which can come from those assets when you sell them. But you were talking about the fact that if the need is now, the asset should be liquidated a couple of years before that.
That's correct. See, it's very important that anytime you build an asset, that asset can be liquidated easily for the purpose for which you had earmarked that asset. In this situation, her education is of paramount importance, and we need to make sure that the assets are liquidated so that you have the liquidity with you so that you can fund it consecutively for 4 or 5 consecutive years. In this situation, it is a clear-cut case of selling the real estate that you have bought for her, and let's get that liquidity created in the bank and then invest that money so that it grows tax efficiently for next 3 to 4 years, with your option of partially withdrawing the money every year. Because you would be needing 6 to 8 lakhs a year. You don't need the entire corpus. The other corpus can stay invested in a tax efficient mutual funds or tax efficient fixed maturity plans or any other capital market based instrument.
Right. And why do we have to liquidate those assets, real estate assets, so many years in advance?
Because it's in the cyclical business situation, sometimes these assets, they don't sell when you need them the most.
Right.
You need to ensure that a good amount of your portfolio is in the liquid asset form.
Right.
Significant chunk, especially the corpus that is required, is huge.
3 years later, she wants to go for her post-graduation as well, for which, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. and Mrs. Sharma, that she wants to go to a foreign country. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So in that case, of course, we're talking about another set of huge amount of money.
Absolutely. So the other variable,
Yes.
which hurts in the second case, is the rupee-dollar relationship.
Right.
We have seen rupee depreciating in last 1 week. We need to ensure that the asset we have earmarked for overseas education is hedged against the rupee-dollar depreciation.
Right.
So in these situations, I normally advise my clients to acquire foreign assets through the mutual fund route so that the money is parked in the dollar value.
Right.
And because the relationship is insulated, because your money is parked in dollar value, the depreciation that happens actually works in your favor. It
Right.
creates a bigger corpus for you in rupees. Right. So in this situation, we need to go into a detailed planning session to figure out how much is that corpus which is required for post-grad in US or UK or any other country, and then how are we investing that money in India or outside India through mutual fund route, and then how are we building that tax efficiency, and is it really possible?
Would 3 to 4 years be okay for investing and building a portfolio in that particular time to fund her education after 3 years?
See, I think return is not that important for funding her education overseas. What is more important in this case is the depreciation risk that a rupee may have against dollar. So if you can park your money in overseas assets, which means your money is already converted in dollar in today's time, you will hedge that risk.
Yeah, that's very interesting actually. Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
The younger one. And in her case, we still have a few more years.
We really don't know what is it that she wants to do really, because it's too young, too early to actually figure out what she wants to do in life.
Which could be very confusing for parents. I mean, you can plan only when you know what you want to do, right? So in this case, what kind of a plan should parents have?
So in Ananya's situation, we have a better opportunity. Assuming we are starting from scratch, we can start our systematic investment plans in hybrid equity-based mutual funds. These are not too risky funds. These are very tax efficient, and since you have 5 to 6 years of time frame, at least for the first year of education, this money can go into equity markets. If you're investing about 36 to 37,000 rupees a month in hybrid equity funds, which are growing at the rate of 10%. With tax efficiency, you'll be able to easily create a corpus of 30 to 35 lakhs in next 5 years.
Right.
But in second case, it is far more in control planning situation compared to the first case where you are at the mercy of some buyer coming and buying real estate from you. Assets.
And in this case, broadly speaking, investing in a risky asset class would not be recommended at all.
For the education goals, no. But
It's a
for
strict no-no.
goals, but for goals which are 8 to 9 years away from today,
Yes.
yes, calculated risk can be taken. Just ensure that you are not buying things on a hearsay. Do the due diligence.
Ideally, when should they start investing?
I think it's an annual process. As you reassess your health parameters every year,
Right.
you need to reassess your wealth parameters every year.
As per experts, financial planning is the ideal way to find funds for higher education of your child or your own. But what if you haven't? And in case you have, but you need a little extra money? Find out how you can find those funds on the other side of this very short break.